Welcome to the Transitions Daily podcast. Transitions Daily is an online recovery group that offers a daily distribution of popular recovery resources accompanied by a secret Facebook group for discussion. We hope you enjoy today's readings.
This is Transitions Daily for May 14th, read by Scott B. from Detroit, Michigan. AA Thoughts for the Day. Awakening. Alcoholism is a grievous and often fatal malady of the mind and body. We have found that these awful conditions invariably bring us on the third phase of our malady. This is a sickness of the spirit, a sickness for which there must necessarily be a spiritual remedy. We AAs recognize this is the first 5 words of Step 12. Those words are, having had a spiritual awakening. Here we name the remedy for our threefold sickness of body, mind, and soul. Bill W., Language of the Heart, page 297. Thought to consider. When the spiritual malady is overcome, we straighten out mentally and physically. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 64. Acronyms. Program. People relying on God, relaying a message. Just for today. Sabotage from Tightrope. After a few years, I was a nightly blackout drinker. My lover drank heavily as well, and I began to compare my drinking with his. I argued to myself that I could not have a problem because his drinking was worse than mine at times. In fact, I suggested that he might try AA. When he did try this fellowship, I did all I could to undermine his efforts to get sober. His recovery would present an obvious, if unacknowledged, threat to my drinking. Eventually, the stress became too much and we broke up, but not before I had succeeded in undermining his recovery. 4th edition, Alcoholics Anonymous, page 361. Daily Reflections. It's okay to be me. Time after time, newcomers have tried to keep to themselves certain facts about their lives. They have turned to easier methods, but they have not learned enough humility. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 72 and 73. Humility sounds so much like humiliation, but it really is the ability to look at myself and honestly accept what I find. I no longer need to be the smartest or dumbest or any other ist. Finally, it is okay to be me. It is easier for me to accept myself if I share my whole life. If I cannot share in meetings, then I had better have a sponsor, someone with whom I can share those certain facts that could lead me back to a drunk, to death. I need to take all the steps. I need the 5th step to learn true humility. Easier methods do not work. As Bill sees it, the spiritual angle. How often do we sit in AA meetings and hear the speaker declare, but I haven't yet got the spiritual angle? Prior to this statement, he described a miracle of transformation which has occurred in him. Not only his release from alcohol, but a complete change in his whole attitude toward life and the living of it. It is apparent to everyone else present that he has received a great gift, and that this gift is all out of proportion to any that may be expected from simply AA participation. So we in the audience smile and say to ourselves, well, that guy's just reeking with the spiritual angle, except that he doesn't seem to know it yet. Grapevine, July 1962. Big Book quote. Everybody knows that those in bad health and those who seldom play do not laugh much. So let each family play together or separately as much as their circumstances warrant. We are sure God wants us to be happy, joyous, and free. Alcoholics Anonymous, The Family Afterward, page 132. 24 hours a day. AA Thought for the Day. Having gotten over drinking, we only had just begun to enjoy the benefits of AA. We find new friends so that we are no longer lonely. We find new relationships with our families so that we are happy at home. We find release from our troubles and worries through a new way of looking at things. We find an outlet for our energies in helping other people. Am I enjoying these benefits of AA? Meditation for the day. The kingdom of heaven is within you. God sees, as no one can see, what is within you. He sees you growing more and more like himself. That is your reason for existence, to grow more and more like God, to develop more and more the Spirit of God within you. You can often see in others those qualities and aspirations that you yourself possess. So also can God recognize His own Spirit in you. Your motives and aspirations can only be understood by those who have attained the same spiritual level as you. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may not expect complete understanding from others. I pray that I may only expect this from God as I try to grow more like Him. Hazelden Foundation, P.O. Box 176, Center City, Minnesota 55012. My name is Scott, and I'm an alcoholic.
We hope you enjoyed today's readings. You can also receive Transitions Daily via email and discuss today's readings in our secret Facebook group. So for more information, go to dailyaaemails.com today.
Other than the 24 hours a day reading, unless otherwise specified, all quotes copyright Alcoholics Anonymous World Services, Inc., 1952, 1957, 1967, 1973, 1975, 1976, 1980, 1981, 1984, 1985, 1988, 1990, or 2001.